All right, as soon as some people come in, we're going to talk about today why you need to trade your trading account. You need to take your trading account seriously, like a business. Okay, and I'm going to explain why with some examples. We're going to be talking about the market. We're going to talk about the SPY, and we're going to be answering some questions and so on and so forth. And hopefully, the question that is asked from some people, you'll find it helpful, or anything that's being said here. Hello, 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 Ash. So today we're going to be talking about a lot of important things. Um, Also, we're going to take some questions, and we're going to try to make this as effective as possible. Everybody hear me clearly? Hello, David. Everybody hear me clearly? Yes. Okay. Good. Perfect. So wait a few minutes for here. That's great, David. So we'll wait a few minutes for more people to come in. But we're just gonna get going soon, and I'm just gonna go through everything. So when people do come to the live stream, there is what's the word? There's information for them. For those who are serious for it all comes down to the market's a very difficult business. Mindset is a big thing. Being able to go through difficult times to catch the good times, it's a part of it. It's never. The fact of the matter is that going through it alone is more difficult than going it through it with a group. But for me, I've been doing this a long time, and I've gone through many different cycles in the market. So, in the end, it's always the same thing. You've got your difficult cycles, and you got your great cycles, and it's never going to be clear as a bell. There's always problems. Listen, they were complaining about things in 2016, and they were complaining about things in 2000. It's always an issue, right? But then we have our different issues, and some issues are more complex than others, right? Right now, the market is more to do with well, it's more to do with political issues that they're dealing with. And I mean, it's not about earnings. There was time back in the day, especially in the year 2000 when they call it the bubble year. Market. There are times the market actually went down due to things being super inflated. And the difference now is we have a different type of situation where companies are doing very well. Not all companies, but a lot of companies are doing very well. Hello, 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 everybody. Hello, Eric. Hello, Dexter. Hello, Mez. The serious people are here. Yeah, I when it comes to the market, there's a lot of factors. One of the factors I look at is how many stocks can actually are bullish and can confirm. And the interesting thing is what we've been having. Some stuff's been confirming, and the market's been really well. It's been a lot more difficult. I mean, listen, there's always difficult levels, but it's been more difficult. One thing I do know is the market is definitely not bearish. And one of the reasons being is you take a look at stocks like we're going to talk about Ruko, right? Now, I mean, we see the game playing. Now, this stock, we played this and it did very well. And then they do one day, they happen to pull it down like the whole market was getting pulled down yesterday. But it was able to rise rapidly. So what's happening is that for the market and or stocks are reacting to different market situations, I call it. So there's so many variables, right? So if you start to look at all the variables, you go crazy, right? You start to think about why this is going to do this, why. No, 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 no. I simplify it by, okay, patterns that I identify that are in favor, that have alignment, which is what Ruko had. Now, one of the things that have been really working for us the most are alignment plays. Reversal plays not so much, and that's because I think, like I said, there's a lot of changes going in the market, but I do see the SPY, nothing's changing. The SPY setting up for higher prices because even if the SPY was to, right now there's a ton of support in the 277 area, and but it doesn't define the market there. It's really a stock picker's market. It's really a stock picker's market right now. The variables always change, Ash. There's not one variable for the market. Let me put it to you this way. The way the market's acting now, it's a lot different because of one variable that wasn't in the past, right? Again, the politics, right? What's going on with the, I can't think of the word here, what's the issue, but somebody tell me one of the issues that we're having. And then, actually, that's what are one of the issues we're having, people, in the market? What is one of the fears? Right, the China trade. Right, exactly. Right. So, do you think that the China trade doesn't throw an unknown factor into what is even things that are positive? Right. So these facts, okay, the market has to sort things out. Now, again, you got companies that are doing very well, but then now they worry, are they going to do as well because of you know, the the China trade, right? So let's put up Apple here. So actually, this is good. So there seems to be a support now. We'll see. One thing is if Apple can regain 180, it's good. However, it still needs more proof. I wouldn't go by. I know what to look for. I honestly think that once Apple starts to trend again, and that can change. Here's the thing, that can change at any time. For all you know, next week, okay, all you know, next week, Apple starts doing good again, right? It's that simple. But what I'd rather focus on right now is what is telling us that is good. For example, interesting thing, AMD. So let's talk about AMD. Now, AMD is another factor that this company can grow, and it can grow on other factors like just simply by taking market share because they have a superior product. We got some great gains in AMD. Much like if you look at this pattern, it's very similar to what Ruko did. When this took off and everything, very similar, right? It had the alignment. We liked it. We made great gains in AMD. So those who like AMD, yeah, DE. But DE is still something that's probably needing to set up. But yeah, there's stocks that, like even Mastercard, for example. So today, actually, listen, AMD going down, fantastic right now. Why? Because when it wants to confirm properly, okay, and we might even have when that stock wants to confirm properly, that's going to be a very positive to the market. This stock is a metric, but AMD is a metric, right? It's a very important metric. Also, Walmart, right? This stock here is a metric too. Now, it's not going to be a fast-moving stock, but Walmart, same thing is a metric, okay? And we have an alignment, but we really need to confirm. Now, if this stock can confirm, that'll be very powerful. These are a very powerful sign for the market, right? Again, if Apple can recover, right? Because right now everybody thinks that Apple, again, what people think, Apple is being pulled down due to again, other factors not to do with how good they're doing, but by fear of the China, what's going to happen with this, what's going to happen with that, right? And on, and all in all, nothing can happen, and everything will be great, right? So that's what's going on, is sorting out. But we have very strong stocks like Ruko. Ruko, looking good again to go higher, continue because I did say we can go to 100, but they pulled that back, right? I need to revamp it back, but that's okay. That stock is great, and there's opportunity. What I'm getting at is that in a bearish market, here's my point here. In a bearish market, there is no in a bearish market, there is no opportunity. In fact, when I'll tell you a story, when last year when I was talking about the market going down, temporary pullback, and it happened to happen. It went down longer for a little longer than I anticipated because we had went for the. Let me put up the SPY. Let's talk about that. I want to talk about what I'm getting at here. Yeah, it was this pullback over here. I remember this here. What was it? SPY. Okay, no. Oh, yeah, here. That's right. SPY. I said 260. That's right. That's right. So I got negative about the market temporarily. We're gonna pull back and was that, and the SPY did that. She then bounced, right? So what happened was is that the market goes through these phases. Now, by the way, if we look at this, right? I look at two metrics, but you see, if we look at this particular moving average, which I call the exponential moving average low, if we look at this factor, when the market was really negative, she cracked down there, and a couple of times was able to pop up and couldn't get above those moving averages. It doesn't mean anything yet, but what we have here is that we haven't even went below this moving average, okay, which happens to be 275.85. And by the way, this moving average happens to be a support, okay, as well with a whole bunch of other supports that I've been talking about. So in theory, that's very interesting that we haven't even we've been correcting. So think of it, this market has been very, very intelligently how they corrected this market, the way they did things with this recent pullback. But again, it's so easy for this to reverse. Well, we still got to wait for it. And again, I want to tell you something else. When the market was going down over here, and I was talking about negatively, the in this area here, the opportunities weren't there. The difference that I started talking about going short the market, right? Temporarily, and that's what happened, right? We did go down, but we went down. What happened here? Yeah, we went down a little long. No, that was a different time. Um, yeah, it was back here. Yeah, and then we tested this. Okay, right over here. So what I'm getting at is that it's different this time. Different that there's so many other support levels other than here. This is way more fear over here, if you ask me. This has kind of been like a slow, like they're just pulling it back slowly. In my opinion, we are setting up for higher prices, bar none, just by what I explained here. Okay, these are regular charts. So when I have my regular charts like this, and then my measuring line charts I look at, plus what I'm seeing in the scans and setups and stuff like that, it tells me, what. Even though we hear all this noise and fear, we're seeing different. I'm seeing much different things that are not apparent. In other words, they are not what a market wants to go lower and it's going to crash and burn, and that's said and done. That, I assure you, is not the case. Not with the earnings that have come out with companies, right? It's just that the market never makes things easy. Now, that being said, the market, you gotta treat the market as a business. Okay, businesses, and this is why you need proper. That's why I talk about cash flow, right? Now, when you go into the market, you need to have money in case of difficult times. Because if you want to succeed long term, you need to be able to weather the storm. You don't go to work only when things are good. You're going to work because you're supposed to go to work. If you're working for a company, you're working all the time with them, but the company isn't always doing perfectly well, right? That's why in the market you have companies doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that, right? But opportunities, it wasn't like this market was a simple short either. See, if we look at this, right? If you look at this, what's going on here, right? This after, in order to, this is even a low. I mean, this is, it's a lot more. We had a lot more of a pullback, and yet the market made a comeback. You could look at this as basically, it's forming a pattern, and then we're going to go higher. Okay. Now, obviously, the SPY needs to regain certain levels to make it more clear, right? And it's getting, listen, every day they keep pulling this back like this tightly. It gets wound like a spring. And the right news, zoom. And I'm definitely paying attention to the right kind of stocks that can bring us the dollar bills with skills no matter what. Because when you think the market's honky-dory, what do you think when as soon as the news starts talking about everything is great, it's too late. If they say it's great, it's too late. You see? So you'll never succeed in the market unless you grind through every period. Now, obviously, I try to get us into the best possible scenarios, but the market can be, and it can be very difficult sometimes, right? And the key is to continuously move forward, doing the right things, and the gains will come. But the minute you stop, cry about things, not looking at, not looking at, are you making mistakes? Even when you do all the right things, it doesn't matter. But are you managing your money correctly and how you go in? Are you going into stocks you shouldn't go into, right? When you have a small account, what business do you have that go into an Amazon or Tesla, right? What business do you have? But something with more long term, you know. I had an option in Apple back in January. It was 80% against me. I left that alone. I focused on other plans. Okay, I was able to get 50% in gains because I looked at the time I had on those options. So you know what, due to this scare over here, and I made 50%. And on top of that, followed it off with 4 or 5 other plans that were winners. All in the same problem, the market always being scary cat. What do you think back in January? There were people talking about the market reversing, but they were like, oh, that making excuses. In January, we gotta see this, we gotta see that level. I was ready. I already had us. I was leading us with BA. My point is the market never, or the news, or nothing around you will ever make it tell you, yeah, man, it's okay to go buy stocks. No, you gotta learn how to, and that's why you got me. Listen, that's why I come. I do these live streams to talk to people, and you don't see anybody do this, right? So I know I'm doing the right things for the right people, and the right people really appreciate it, right? I said that this is not what I do in the markets. It's not a popular thing. Like I said, most people are too dumb and too weak-minded here to succeed. Now I tell those same people, well, try opening up a business and see how well you do now in this day and age. So the market is kind of like, you got to look at it as your last chance to grow extra income. But in order to do that, you've got to treat it like a serious business, not like I never treat it as a secondary thing. It doesn't matter what I was doing in life, I always put it as a strong focus. It's not my only thing in life, but it's a strong focus. Okay? And that's why I know success is imminent when you're like this. In fact, every successful trader has gone through difficult situations only to come out on top because they never gave up. They honed their skills, but they never had a clear, beautiful ride. And anybody telling you that everything's perfectly honky-dory all the time, they are lying, because they're doing what? Every trading system that you can think of will run in an issue. Look at the stock clown bookie. The guy's been wrong years after year after year, saying he's correct, but he's been wrong in the big picture. Well, I've been right. I'm still right in the big picture to this day. Right? I talked about SPY 300. We've hit SPY 300 much closer than hitting SPY 200, like the con would say the market would go. You see my point? What's the difference? Consistency. Consistency in what works. That's why my YouTube channel has the videos, has the documented proof, step by step by step. But I never said that this is an easy ride. The difference with me is I've dealt with a lot of people. Understand people? True. That's right. Not really. I don't include Russell and IWM because the more thing. Here's the way I look at it. The more things you look at that are not important, the more complicated. In fact, just looking at the SPY, to be honest with you, and the companies in my scan is a much better indicator because it takes a lot for stuff to confirm. And like I said, stocks have been doing very well for us. I mean, not all stocks have been doing well, but like stuff like for example, Ruko being able to do very well in this market, and that tells you something right there. It's not. It's like a stock picker's market, and its market's trying to sort itself out. Even causes some false signals, and especially I mean what they did, the way we started on Monday. It things looked like okay, and then they pulled it back, and it kind of affected everything. I mean, it affected Ruko. Well, Ruko today jumps for whatever reason. They didn't care what was going on today in the SPY. You know, it's basically there's no explanation of why things happen. Like I'll give you an example. Sometimes you get a stock that people say, why isn't it going up? And the market's going up, and the next day as the market is flat, it goes up. It's taking point like stock like Match. It acted totally different to the market. If the market was going, it still would show. Got people. It's That's why you want to simplify things because stocks are going to act in their own terms. Like I've seen this, so it's not like it's unusual to me. I've seen it over and over again that they take their turns. So one day you think that the stock should do well, it's doing flat. The next day it's Superman, and the other ones are doing nothing. I've seen it so many times, people. Okay, so I talked about the SPY. Talked about taking the market seriously, like a business, having the right capital flow. If you take it seriously, right, and you're in my group and you're studying everything, and you go through all the phases of the market, I guarantee you're going to succeed in the market. But if you are taking breaks and crying when things don't go right and missing out on the gains when they're coming, you're going to go crazy. You won't succeed long term. It's not possible to succeed in this. I assure you, I've been at the market more than 20 years, paying attention to it like a machine, like a machine. Okay, that's why I know what I know so well. I made my decisions of why you ought to pick and choose what kind of a trader you are, because you cannot be good at everything. You never can be good at because like if you want to be a scalper, for example, the scalper mentality is very different than a short-term or more of a long-term view as myself. It's two different ways of making money, right? And both sides will make money and not make money at certain times. But to me, I like making money on real direction, right? And sometimes when we have a market like this, it skews real direction. But it's not like I'm wrong about what a real direction is, because like I said, the stock con, for example, called the market a bubble, right, at 225. That's in 2016. We are in 2019, right? We're practically halfway through the year. And SPY's nowhere near 225 stock clown. It's nowhere near a bubble stock clown, right? But the stock clown doesn't want to talk about how wrong he was with the video he talked about, right? I don't want to, I kind of talk about people like him as an example because They don't look at themselves as being a problem. They like to point fingers at other people and say blah, 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 but they don't look at themselves as that they're wrong. When you open your mouth and you say the market's going to go lower and it doesn't go lower, you're wrong, and just say it. I've been right, the big picture, the market's been going higher, but does the market simply go higher? No, in history, the market's never just simply gone higher, right? That's what we're setting up to do. SPY 300, that stance has not changed for me. SPY still has an interesting thing. We haven't, last time we smashed below this thing and we still bounced, we haven't even touched it. So we will see. We might, we will, you know, we'll see if we get some reversal action tomorrow. Good chances we do. Due to some stocks, I mean, like, you know, for example, MasterCard today. MasterCard was able to go positive. So why is that? Because the market, it's taking information, is reacting to different things. Some things are going to pull the market lower. That's why it's not simple, the market. I keep telling some people. It's not simple because it cracks a level, and it's this time it's very different due to the China trade, and due to a lot of political factors right now. That doesn't change how great these companies are doing. MasterCard is doing amazing. Apple is doing amazing. AMD is going to be is growing. It's not bearish market, right? But some companies could be affected, some may not, and so the market has to sort things out. That's a simple explanation. What else? I talked about Apple. I talked about MasterCard, AMD. Yeah, I mean, like this stock here, my opinion, long term. Now, here's another point I want to make. You know, I remember, and I'm telling you just to show you how the perception of people. Now, the stock clown, I consider him an old world thinker, right? So, you know, I was negative AMD back over here. I explained the problems in 2018, right? And we went lower and we still lower. I did say that if AMD was to crack above 15, that would be a game changer. But before it cracked 15, I made a plan that I didn't get into, but some of my members did. They liked the stock, and I said there was a change. Now the stock clown, bearish, wrong, the big picture, like always. Now to this day, I'm right about AMD. I talked about a change, a flip. I talked about targets. Then we actually went into options here, right on this day over here. Or was it? I remember we went, and maybe it wasn't exactly that day, but what happened is we were within this range, and then we got the great move. I think we sold up over here. We bought something. We got some great gains in this AMD. They were 20 calls. They were the 20 calls. They must have been September 20 calls at the time. Probably they were probably September 20 calls, or it could have been October. I don't know exactly what, but it's probably, I'll usually pick about a month forward for the AMD. So they were probably the 20 calls, right? So let's see if we see that for people who do see the live stream, right? So as the stock clown, he was still shorting this. You know, instead of going long all this, he's looking always, because again, people have no skill out there, right? And there's a lot of people that want to guess the market. All I did was I saw what the market was saying, and again, I'm way more correct than I'm wrong. Right? And even if I happen to be wrong temporarily on some things, it's due to market conditions being a little bit out of whack. That's the only reason. But when it comes to the reality of things, I most time we're batting 80% and higher. Only when the market becomes very difficult that doesn't become the case on a short-term basis, not for long-term. We're talking about short-term. That can, anybody can, because especially when you're at something, right? Just because things is tough in business, right? Does the company close the doors, or do they try to push forward to try to go to make progress, right? That's why you have to think of the market as a business. And if you're not thinking of it as a serious business, you think of it as a little game, then you're done. You're finished. This is a serious game. Big money's involved in the market, not a baby game. Serious dollar bills. Okay, that's where the real money is made by big players, not by little baby scalpers. Understand that, right? So People who are visionary thinkers like myself, forward, being able to project real price movement, not little baby scalper like the stock clown. No, those people don't count. They think they know what they're talking about. They talk about this and that, but they don't know what they're talking about. I've clearly demonstrated this. I mean, with AMD, no word of a lie. With AMD, I called it a reversal that I didn't bother to get into, and until up here. And what I said about it was bang on correct. Once it recovered levels, it became a superstar again. And I think it's like I said, we are going to try to attempt for, and this is important to watch AMD. We're trying to attempt, the 33, 34, but definitely there's different ranges. We can attempt 35, 37 to 40, play around, but long term, right? Long term, this is a $50 stock, and one of the reasons being is simple. They have a product. This is a unique situation, and fundamentally and technicals are kind of aligned. They have a product that is better than Intel, right? So they simply can take market share. People some people are going to obviously keep buying Intel products. I mean, there are always going to be people going to buy. It doesn't matter if Intel computers are better than Intel's. They're going to still stick to, some businesses will still stick to Intel business, right? However, there will be people who will not care as much, and those are the people that they're going to say, you know what, AMD's faster. For example, the gamers, right? We're going to buy a game machine. We're going to be buying game machines on AMD or whatever other things on AMD, right? That's why this stock has the potential to go higher. Now, the stock clown doesn't think like this. He just thinks that the stocks are too high, and that was it, right? This stock's going to be 10. It's going to go to 8. It didn't go to 8. Again, who was right? Listen, people. That's why I want to prove my point. Stock Clown was talking about this going to $8. Right? Now, I'll be honest with you. Listen carefully, people. I never fight with the market. I had lost hope of AMD back in 2018. Okay, I left it alone. But when it changed, people would ask me sometimes, well, when it changed its guard, I took a look. I looked at all the facts, and I said, you know what? I changed my mind, and I made a confirm, and I did it. And I didn't go into it, but I made the plan, and we took my advice, made the dollar bills with skills. Okay, and the stock clown, his advice did nothing for people. Zero, stock clown. You understand, stock clown? I know you're watching, stock clown. Zero. It did. It did zero for you. You did for people. I help people make money. That's why I do live streams, to help the right people. I told you, most people are dum-dums. They aren't going to succeed. They're too lazy. They're too lazy. I'm telling it how it is. You won't succeed if you're lazy. If you're not going to put the effort. I put the effort. I'm here, banging away. Whether it's tough or good, power trick or trade, I'm here. I don't run like you, stock clown. No live streams when the market doesn't go your way. You only show up when things go your way. Doesn't work that way, stock clown. Doesn't work like that way. Fact of the matter is, I give the good advice for people who want to succeed. But my advice, if you're not paying attention, you're not with me all the time, and you cry like a little baby when things are a little tough, you're done. The market ain't for you. Go work for a company, slave away, cut saw, right? Try making it as a business. See how much money you lose in a business. You want to lose way more money? Try opening a business today. Ha ha, stock cloud. So believe me when I tell you, the market is the easiest way to develop wealth. It's good work, but you don't need it so much as people. That's what I mean. Like, what are you coming in? You're trying to start a business with $1,000. What happens if you happen to come when things are a little tough? Oh, the market's so good. The guy doesn't know what he's talking. No, you lazy bum. You don't have proper capital for success. You think that the market's a flyby. At least I don't lie to people. I tell them it's not. You gotta have capital, because when you have the right capital and the right opportunities come, your account can fly. I give an example. A tough time like back with FedEx, right? Let's talk about FedEx. I know the stock market don't like this, but back over here in 2017, people were complaining about the market. Market's no good. Oh, it's gonna crash. And here I am with FedEx making a plan. I think it was, no, it was over here. Yeah, that's right. It was in November, that's right, November, December. Now, why do I tell you this? I'll tell you the story here. So there were these options you could have bought. And for $100 an option, they actually went 10, the $100 options on this move based on my plan turned to $1,000 a piece. That's 10 times your money. Now, I can assure you, I was having some difficult times in the market, but when this stock flew, my account, I was set up, it just flew in cash. But we were in Costco as well. Things just took off. I remember we were struggling in November, and then basuma pop boom, and you wouldn't. And I even called it 3 days that there was going to be a big pop. I could sense by the way they were grinding, boom. And that's why I can tell you that a small account with my prepared wasn't crying. If they lost half their account value, they just have, you know what they would have in their account? Even with a small amount, they would have they would have they would have 100% more money in their account, just like that, by being at the right place at the right time with the right instructions and not crying through difficult times. Guess what? Bing, 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 bing comes. And this happens over. It doesn't matter whether it's 2016 it happened, 2017 it happens. Every year it happens. It's been happening consistently every year. Difficult times, boom, 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 and identifying. And of course, yours truly, I identify it, right? So that was a good story. Let's go back to, and not just a story, a true story. Now, what did the stock clown do? He lost money shorting FedEx. No skill. No skill. Like a lot of people out there, no skill. They talk like they have skill. They don't have skill. Because when they try to go up against me, I prove them wrong. They cry like the baby, like the stock clown, and they run for the hills. Normal people. That guy trolls me instead. Till this day, he still trolls me. All right, now. What else? So, yeah, so I'm going to take it step by step, people. I'm monitoring the market. There's going to be listen, I guarantee you there's going to be plenty of opportunity. Plenty of opportunity. So, just stay focused. The money will come. Believe me, I've been through this so many times. I've been through the difficult and the good so many times. I have the experience. Everything I'm telling you is a fact. If you stick to it, if the market, listen, again, if the market was easy, right, just think about this carefully, people. Think what I'm trying to tell you. If the market was easy, everyone would be successful. The reality is, very few are successful. That's the reality. And the reality being is that they have no discipline. See, power trigger, do you want to know why I have discipline? I'm going to prove at one point. I have a lot more discipline than a lot of people out there. First of all, I show a physical side of me. And that alone is a metric that is plaguing society massively. They do not have the discipline, okay, to look like me. There are people who do, but that's still a very small, minute minority of the population. 5% of the male population are going to come even close to me at my age. 5%. What does that mean? Well, let me explain to you that. Now, on top of that discipline that I have, because I'm talking about health and wealth, that's why I do what I'm doing. I have that same mentality with the market. Do you think all traders have this discipline on these two metrics? I assure you they do not. I assure you they do not. Because as I said to you, if you're focusing only on money, right, and you don't have your health, your decision making is never going to be the best. Number one, my opinion, will not be the best. But with good health, you have a clearer mindset, right? And then, besides, without health, even if you have money, what good is that if you're sick and you're spending it on, medical bills, and you can't even enjoy your money anyways, right? So that's what I'm trying to say to people. Like, people don't look at that, but discipline is a problem. Like, people don't have discipline. So if you've got all kinds of fat souls out there, they got no discipline, right? So now they want to make money in the market, and and they think it's going to be easy, that if they just follow some magical system, that there's some holy grail out there that it will work for sure. So that's why there's a million systems out there. They all are about a strategy, and if you're not going to consistently follow that strategy, and you're going to hop from one thing to another, you won't succeed. Then what they'll do is they'll give up. People will give up. And they quit the market and just live life whatever, and that's it, right? Because people are gonna think it's gonna be great. I'm gonna make a lot of money in the market, right? They put their money, then they start putting it to work. Things don't go. They may go in a time things are, but they're not properly prepared, right? They lose a little bit. But if they had stuck to it, they went huge. Some people they honestly gamble. They just there's no strategy. They're just throwing money at the market. I've come across people like this in coming trying to come. They just wanna. I say, what are you doing? They just throw their money in the market. They wonder why they lose. Because if you treat it like if you don't treat this as a business, if you treat it as an afterthought, or I guarantee you, you won't succeed. Like I'm telling you straight out. Like the advice I'm telling you is gold in this live stream. If you look at this not as a business, forget it. You're gonna be destroyed because it's even if you're running a business, it's a discipline. All those business owners have some sort of a discipline to run their business. They got to go through the good, the bad. They got to look to solve problems, right? The market's the same thing. The difference is that with me, you have a lot of work and filtering processes that I'm doing, and that support, right? But you still need to have the right kind of capital, have the right mindset, and keep going forward. There's so many variables that even if you have the best person behind you, you still won't do well due to the wrong mentality, due to the wrong discipline set, due to not listening to it. Right? So even if I tell you what you should be doing, A, B, C, D3, and you happen to skip some of my advice, well, what do you want? I make these live streams so people can listen to them because there's pieces of important information in every live stream. There really is. But because I'm talking from the heart here, I'm talking from experience. So I keep it real. That's why I do the live streams to help the people, to answer some questions, and yeah. And most people want, yeah, FedEx story in 26. Yeah, you'd have to go back, Ash. But if you look for the FedEx, if you go to my YouTube channel and you look deep enough, you know what? Let's see. Give me a second here. I'm gonna show people what to do. So let's put this up. You just give me a sec, people. Give me a sec here. So you have a created playlist, right? And it goes. You see this. So here it is. Okay, FedEx. Um, was this the live stream or how to make money with trading? Yeah. So basically, like I said, I tell you people, like there's so many videos here. It goes back like really far. This one has 4. This one has 1. And I get lazy to update all these things. This one has 1. Oh, here it is. Okay, that's no. You should look at all the FedEx plans I made. I mean, the history. A lot of great videos. But the FedEx one, I think it's over here. So look in that area in the created playlist. And also, I'm going to go to PowerTarget Trade. And if you want to become a member side of Power Group Trade, study this pin tweet. Like the reason I do this is that it's a filter system. Like I said, most people are very lazy, and they won't do the proper process. So I know they're a waste of time. They're gonna be a loser anyway. So it won't matter. I can have so many people in the group. It's not funny. I kicking people I have to kick people out or downsize the group due to people just don't have what it takes to succeed, right? Listen, I come across a lot of people, and I'm telling you right now, if you don't want to listen to my advice, you don't have a chance in prayer to succeed in the market long term. You don't have a prayer. I have too much experience in this to know these facts. No, it doesn't have put plans because that's the market. Um, well, look at what Ruko did. It's there's no put plans when there's nothing when the market's not bearish. The market's in chop. So I don't have put plans when this market was in bearish. Where we should have when over here, like there were times we should have had put plans, but this is not a time. As I explained, you must be late in the live stream that the market can flip at any time. Okay, it's sorting things out. Look at Ruko. How do you listen? I mean, I'm gonna make my point very clearly, but this doesn't happen in a bearish market. This is a breakout stock, right? Now, I happen to get us into. There are three stocks to go into. Disney. While we cycled out of Disney. We got huge gains at Disney. We avoided Netflix, and we caught Ruko. Within three stocks in the entertainment business, we caught some great gains. But these happen to work well with the market. Now, not everything wants to work well with the market due to, again, the political issues. But in all the stocks that I pick, they are very strong stocks. These things can change temporarily, and it's okay. We will make our comebacks. I am not looking to make money every direction in the market. I look to make money in the right direction, and this is not a bearish market. You know, it's not a bearish market. I know what a bearish market is, and this is not a bearish market. What it is right now is the sorting out market. And as long as the market's like that, if the market was bearish, nothing would come up on my skin, nothing. But there's opportunities. I've seen a lot of stuff that's set up that just need more time. And the SPY, it can flip. It's getting, every time they keep it like this, and I showed you the SPY, we haven't violated. Look at this pack. Now, when the market was in very bearish, we crashed through the 200 and we went down like this, and yet the market reclaimed itself. People thought it was the end of the world here, and PowerTarget Trades says we're going to reverse, and I had 5 winning BA plans. So I know what I'm talking about, okay? What bearish is, right? And again, I cannot be 100% on everything, but I've been bang on in terms of where the real direction of the market's been since February 11, 2016. Okay, I'll classing all kinds of gurus out there, quote unquote gurus. People calling the market going to crash in 2014, 15, 16, 2017 by Tony Robinson, going to crash the market. Here we are to nobody knows anything, okay? But I do. I do know how to read the market, and I've been calling the market not bearish, and I've been right ever since 2016. PowerTarget Trade. Yeah, but that's Nvidia. Nvidia, don't think it was easy to short Nvidia. Stock clown. Put it this way: you never hear a stock clown shorting Nvidia, right? He gave up. Let me answer that question. Nvidia, okay, and where the market was. This happened to be, but you never hear that the stock clown decided to short Nvidia. He gave up on it. He gave up on the stock, right? So it happened to do what it did, but he gave up on it, right? And as much as Nvidia, and my answer to you, David, is very simple. As much as Nvidia went down, Ruko went up. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it doesn't. It's the reverse. So the market isn't as simple. We're gonna go down and everything. No, no, no. Certain stocks are affected. First of all, Nvidia is affected, right? But AMD, look at AMD. AMD is in the same category as Nvidia. And again, it's focus. Like I said, I can't get into everything, right? My focus is on where is the real direction of the market, and and if I was to change my focus, then I wouldn't be as good as I am. When the market is more like, oh, you know what, it's good to go short now. There will come a time, but that time has not come. It's not because I showed you the SPY, right? So it's never that simple. Everybody, I say it's a rookie mistake. Everybody thinks that when things go down, that it's just simply going to go down. Not the case. Ask the stock clown how he's been massacred and he's smashed to pieces and wrong since 2016. Remember, I'm not no word of a lie. He had a video. He called it a bubble. bubble, guys. I can't go long. I can't go long here. I'm short. I, that video proves my point, and it's so many people like him that have no skill, that assume that just because things went down, that everything will go down. The reality is the market has gone up. It has not gone down since 2016, since 2017, 2000, and so on and so forth. And so many people thought, yeah, that was it. Trust me, when the SPY was here, people might call me crazy when I was talking the market was going to flip, right? Stock clown going out with his live streams. Who was right again? PowerTarget Trade. And I'm more right than I'm wrong. When it comes to the big picture, I'm batting 100% correctness. In terms of where the market's really going, 100%. I have until the market was to fail, then I'd be wrong, but it has not failed. We are closer to 300. And when we go to 300, and PowerTarget Trade led the people the right way with the skills, I'm a longevity expert, not about trying to catch every scenario. Why Nvidia did this, because as much as Nvidia went down, we made money. We made money going along in Ruko. No, I don't want to go into Nvidia. Again, that's not my style of trading. I know that type of question makes me mad. Why would I want to go in Nvidia when I have better setups? Nvidia is not a setup to go long. I don't want to go in because it will rebound. Again, you missed the point again. See, that's a person that I got to give you a little bit of crap. Listen, you're not listening to what I'm telling you. Okay, it's I'm focusing on things that are in favor, and when they're out of favor, like just like BA, I don't want to. Why would I want to focus on BA now? Okay, let me answer this because I mean, I'm so again the way people think that's a recipe for failure. So why don't we just do this? And why don't we? No, if it was that simple, then everybody would succeed. See, that gets me so mad when people. And again, that's why, and I shouldn't get mad. That's an example why people are going to fail because their mentality is wrong. They assume that it's so easy. If it's so easy, then go do that. Just go do that what you're thinking. I guarantee you, you're going to be burned you're going to burn to the ground. Not my way. I guarantee you, you'll burn to the ground because if you think it's going to be easy, you're just going to throw. Oh, Nvidia is going to go up now. No, I'm not saying Nvidia won't go up, but why would I want to focus on Nvidia when it's not clear? When I can find things like Ruko. Ruko is a lot more clear to go higher than Nvidia right now, right? So why would I want to focus on? Why would I want to focus on Nvidia, right? Now the same thing with BA. When I wanted to focus on BA, there was reasons, okay, that I saw as a reversal play, okay, and I was right. That is what I'm about. Real direction. 5 times in a row. You don't see the clown. Nobody doing that. That's how what I specialize in realistic moves. But even when we're stuck in chop, even I'm going to get sidetracked here and there. But I still will win the big picture. That's what I'm about. Every company goes through its ups and downs, but they strategize and revamp. Just like Microsoft wasn't in the gaming market, and they invested, and they actually were losing money to get themselves in the gaming market with the Xbox, and they got a good pie of the market, right? Things change. Just like AMD. AMD, look at it's the same thing with AMD. I didn't want to go, listen, people like this company. And back in 2018, I didn't like this company. I had some bearish videos. Not that I was shorting it or anything. I just talked negative about the company. I said this finish this company. But when it changed its course, I'm gonna explain. When it changed its course, David, I took a plan up here because it was clear as a bell to me, and we won, and that's what I'm about. That's what I'm about. Okay, good. So I'm sorry if I get mad, it's because honestly, it's the thinking and I can understand it's the thinking is wrong. If it was so simple, then everyone would succeed in the market. It's not simple, but my system is very different, where we are always focusing on okay, Apple right now. Yes, Apple could come back, but why would I want to focus on Apple now? When Apple is more clear to me, I will focus on it, but I will not want to focus on Apple right now when there are better setups. So I never let myself get tied down to a stock. That's what people do. They tie down, they double down. No, I get it. It's not working. We try to hold it properly. It doesn't work. We get out. We focus on the next winning plan. That's how you get yourself out. We weren't doing so well in November in FedEx. We were struggling. It was down 50%. It became a massive winner due to me focusing on the big picture, not worrying about the everyday blips and blops and bloops. I've been doing this since, I've been proving this since, there's so many documented videos that prove what I talk about right now, what I'm saying to you. And yet people's mindset's the same. I come with so many people. They think this is a game. This market is a serious business if you want to succeed. It's a serious business. That's right. It's a serious business, this market. But think about what I said about AMD. Did we not? I'm pretty sure, Dave, you were around. Did you know we caught this move? Stock clown shorting wrong. PowerTarget Trade correct. Then the market happened to pull back. Nothing to do with stock clown being right. Had to do with different issues in the market at the time. Look where AMD is right now. The reality is, from there here to here, PowerTarget Trade is right. The big picture. A billionaire invested in this company, just holding it, not caring, is making money off of PowerTarget Trade advice, not stock count advice who can't see big picture. Now, the only difference is if something loses, this stock never lost trend. It's a long-term play. I have people long-term in AMD. In the 20s, long-term. Now they're laughing, ha ha ha, to the bank. As a long-term play, okay? AMD. Why? I told somebody about it, I have some people said, because this is a long-term play, $50 a share. Now, where have we gone since it reversed? I changed my mind. I didn't say bearish like the stock count. I changed my mind. I've been massively correct since 2018 of May. Massively, not baby correct, massively correct. Like a freight train running through a wall. The same thing about the market now. There's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. You're never wrong until it's like I said to you, if something was to go wrong with this US market, with all the facts I'm seeing with how companies are doing, you need a bomb to go and hit the US right now. If that doesn't happen, we're going to go up. That's the only thing that sends this market down. I don't even think the China trade thing is going to cause the issues. What I think is going to happen is you can tell by certain stocks. It's just going to be certain stocks come out of favor, in favor, and when there's no fear of that, then things will be more smooth. But this market is in no way wanting to be derailed. It wants to go higher and remain higher and or choppy for years. See, stock con, it's not going to just do what you want because you think you know. You don't know. This market is never going to be simple. It's not a common sense approach either. You couldn't look at it, the fundamentals of all the fundamentals. And listen, there's so many big mouths trying to call things, and they're always wrong. See, my system works better than the best out there, simply because I am looking at what is the big picture, not the little blips and blops. The market has to do that. It has to play this game. It can never make it easy, people. It never wants to make it easy, the market. And you know what? I don't care because I know I'm going to win the big picture. Because PowerTarget Trades, I'm going to be at it. Just like I keep myself in top physical fleet, I keep at it year after year after year. I'm not some guy who just, some people that come in there, in middle age, they decide, hey, let me try to get, no, PowerTarget Trade leader all the time. Till the day I die. PowerTarget Trade gonna be on. Real wealth is health and wealth. Strong discipline, strong mindset. You can't beat that. Weakness, easily defeat weakness, but not strong mindset. PowerTarget Trade. Why don't more people come more when the live stream is over? No, Ruko. In fact, Ruko can go higher. If all goes well, Ruko can go 102 to 105, in my opinion. Why is Ruko so bullish? Probably had great earnings. Look at it right here. Look at the facts here. So Ruko is doing this in a so-called bearish market, right? Right? Ruko is flying in the air. So stock guy, because I read the market, and we were in this. Now, the market hasn't been very kind to us lately. I've been through this before, but Ruko proves my point. So does Match. This stock was solid in this difficulty time. And I believe that if all goes well, If it has, I'm going to have another plan for this, by the way. I say 102, 105. Why? I think this company is just, they're the same. They're in the same sector as Netflix and Disney. But of course, this is the hottest stock out of the sector. And PowerTarget Trade got us into the hot. I got us into first with Disney, then with Ruco, right? If you combine the win rates of those in the sector, PowerTarget Trade, I led us in the right direction. Big picture thinking always wins, right? We're gonna have things that don't work because the market will do the unthinkable, and I know this already. But I know if we stick to the game plan, we stay focused, and that's why I do the live streams. And I tell people, I talk to you, you've got to treat this like a serious business, or you're through. You got to stick to it. A mentality. Now, I change. I know when to change when, but I can't change what I'm seeing just because the market pulls back a bit. Ruco is the opposite of Nvidia. As Nvidia wants to go down, Ruco went up. I don't need to care about. I could have. Yes, we could have shorted Nvidia, but that's not my focus. My focus is going long the market. As long as the market is on the right uptrend, which it is. Doesn't mean that it's going to be good, but you know what? A perfect all the time. But are we not continually stayed higher? The stock count is baffled, and so many other people are baffled. I told you, the king is the market, and the market's can be very difficult. I never said it was easy. Very difficult. Like I gotta work really hard, and I get very little out of this, and a lot of things. But that's part of it. I understood this. I said I gotta be able to handle every situation, or else I can't lead. If I'm gonna cry and whine and no, PowerTarget Trade. I don't care what the market does. I'm going to win because that's the mentality you got to have, and you got to stay focused and change your mind when it's time to change, right? Right now, stock pickers market both can make money, David, short or long right now, because it's stock pickers market right now until the market finalizes itself. A stock like Ruco acting like, and look, and I mean, how do you explain again? Why did Ruco do what it did? Okay, whatever affected Ruco this day didn't affect it today. You're never going to know the variables of why things happen. But what I do is I look at this as information. Though. See, I look at this very differently. I look at everything as, okay, what can I understand from what just happened? Why this did this? Why this did that? That's part of a strategy which most people, they don't do. They just look at the negatives. I look at what is the positives happen within a negative. And there were a lot of net positives today too, inside the negative. Simply put, market's not easy. If it was easy, everyone wants to succeed. But you got the big picture leader on your side. I tell it how it is. I'm honest with the people, right? Unlike the stock clown, right? I'm always right, the big picture, unlike the stock clown. Unlike a lot of people out there, right? Unlike a lot of people. I talked about Apple going to 200. I led the people correctly. Not Carl like them. No, sir, Bird. A lot of people talk with the mouth. They didn't lead the people right. I did. I led the people right with AMD. Anybody knows? Anybody follow me long enough? This is a true story. AMD. I called the reversal. I didn't go in again. Some people. I did not go in with the options in this. Because there was other plans. However, due to the AMD board, to justify what I said negative about it, I told them this is bullish. What I see, and I gave them a plan. For people who did like AMD, I gave them a plan. Okay. I gave them a plan. And then we went along with options, and everybody who's long enough knows that I'm telling the truth about this. Well, it's all documented on my YouTube channel. Okay, you're gonna see AMD. Listen, if you look at my creative playlist, you're gonna find the AMD plan, word for word, what I've said, because I know I was in it, making the dollar bills with skills. Unlike the stock count, shorting what she should have got long. No skill, no skill. All right, people, have a good night. If you want skill, PowerTarget Trade, real live streams. Right. Talk to the people. You ask me questions. If you don't ask me a question in the live stream, then it's your fault. You're failing. You find time to come to the live stream. If you have an issue to talk about, and you face me one on one. Whoever, anybody out there wants to face me one on one, ask me a question. I have to answer you directly. So no excuses. No excuses for mediocrity or losing. It's your fault. Blame yourself. Do not blame other people. Blame yourself. Because a lot of people, it's their own dumb fault for losing. This is a reality. It's their own fault. Just like it was my fault when I was losing before. Right? But I realized what the Austrians wish, and I created a very powerful system from it. A lot of work. A lot of work. A lot of work. The kind of work very few in the world would do. But I was hungry to learn and understand the market in the proper way that was not being taught. And PowerTarget Trade was developed and learned. And to this day, I'm massively correct, outclassing all kinds of dum-dums out there. Because they don't care about the plan. I care. Everything I get, I care about every plan. That's the big difference. I care about my plans. But I know when to leave that plan alone and let's focus on something else. I do not stick to something. Didn't work. Let's go this, let's go that. Then they take off for us. We hold things like FedEx. FedEx was a loser. 50%. 2 weeks struggling, talking about it on live stream. Anybody goes in and wants to go find other truth. It's exactly word for word. If anybody want to bet me $1 million of every word that comes out of my mouth is true, I will be collecting the money from them. Everything I say is bang on correct, bang on true, documented. I have the proof. I clean anybody out says that I'm lying. If it sounds too good to be true, that's because the amount of work I put in how correct I am is the reason and the effort. Well, year after year after year, month after month, and never stop. Because that's me. Market. And my lifestyle, the way I want to do it. Very few can do what I do. Very few have the discipline that I have. So, that's what you are when you're with me. However, you still got to put the effort in. You still got to battle your dum-dum, your mental issues over here. People got the mental issues. I understand what to do with the market, how to treat the market. I am telling people great advice to help them bring them up to speed so that they have a chance to succeed. Stock Clown can't do that. Have a good night, people.